Hello and welcome to Demo Day. My name is Patrick.
And I'm Margaret.
And we are going to be your hosts tonight. Tonight we're going to see 25 teams pitch who've taken part in the Kiuas Accelerator program during this summer. But before we jump into the practicalities, I'd like to take a brief moment to talk about why we are here and, well, what is Kiuas? So, at Kiwas, we believe that by accelerating entrepreneurs and accelerating startups, we accelerate the future. And we have created a bunch of services and programs that are free for anyone to join or to attend to, where we help entrepreneurs in everything from finding a co-founder, learning about what is a term sheet, to also accelerating their business internationally and also pitching in Demo Day. Now, our track record is already something. We have closer to 300 startups that we have helped throughout the years. You might recognize some of the names like Swappy or Gubbe or Green Planet Astronaut, some of the fastest growing startups in Finland. And also, our startups have raised in total closer to 100 million euros already. And we are the #1 startup accelerator in Finland. But the reason why we are here today is because of this summer's Kiuas Accelerator program. And Margaret, could you tell us about that one?
Yeah, definitely, Patrick. So basically, here at Kiwas, we were just thinking about how can we go any bigger than what we did last year. I'm sure the pandemic held us back last year, but we did find a way to solve it, and we went online. And this year, we decided that we are going to go even bigger, and we went with our first ever international batch. So we figured that why fix something if it's not broken? Let's rather make it better. And as I said, this is our first international batch. But with that, we were also decided to go a little bit bigger, and we've made our batch 2 times bigger. With 25 startups on our lineup, it has been a really wild ride this summer. Really a summer that we can say that is like going to be something that we are going to remember here at Kiwas. It's been really good. The weather's been really great for us, and we've had a lot of sessions, and we have to ask ourselves, was it easy for us to maintain the personalized style that we have for our startups? And yes, virtual worked really well for us in this moment because we were still able to cater to all our startups, even those here in Finland and those abroad, in the same way that we have in the past years. But that was only possible due to the coaches that we have on our lineup. Those are the true superheroes, the Superman and the Wonder Woman. And so just have a look at them. And then let's just take a minute to thank them for all the time that they have put in and selflessly spent with our startups. Thank you to all the coaches from the startups and from Kiwas.
Thank you. Now, today what's going to happen is that we're going to have a very simple agenda. We're going to have 25 pitches, and we're going to have 4 breaks. And the breakdown of the pitch is also quite straightforward. We're going to have a 3-minute time slot for each pitch, and afterwards we're going to have a 3-minute Q&A. Now you might ask, why do we want to spend so much time in asking questions? And the reason is that a startup might on purpose leave something out of their pitch. Maybe they don't want to elaborate about their competition, or maybe they didn't explicitly tell them that they don't have any revenue yet, which might be totally okay if they can answer the questions. So what we've thought is that we are going to have a jury who's going to ask them questions and really put them on the spot, so that we all then can see and learn something more from the startup in addition to the shiny PowerPoint presentations. And for the jury, we have 8 people with us today virtually, as they are from very different parts of the world. And we decided to split the jury into 2 groups of 4, because 25 pitches is quite a lot, and we want to keep this whole thing lively. Now, do I have online already our first 4 jury members? Do we have Stanley? Do we have Kremena? Do we have Eva? And do we have Kartik?
Hey guys, hi everyone.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello. Nice to see you all. Now, I think we could do a brief round of introduction. Now, if all of you jury members could tell who you are and how do you work with startups. Stanley, maybe you can go first.
Yes. Hi everyone. So this is Stan from Turing Capital, speaking to you from Shanghai. late at night. So touring is early stage, tech focused, like venture fund, and very much look forward to hearing some exciting projects from the startup teams today.
Cool.
Next
Should I
up
go
would-
next? I'm Karthik.
Yes, please.
I'm the lead analyst at Launch Africa Ventures. We're a Pan-African seed to Series A venture fund. We invest in companies all the way from Cape Town to Cairo. So yeah, we've got a really broad area of investment, and we invest primarily in the seed to Series A stage.
Hi, everybody. Crusty speaking to you from Oslo. We are Snow Ventures. We are VC born out of Norway. We invest in early stage, high growth Nordic tech companies in the digital tech space. We focus on seed and Series A stages, and we're very excited to be here and meet you all.
Hi guys, this is Eva from Bratislava, Slovakia. I am the associate partner at Civitas, the Central and Eastern European consultancy. I am myself an angel investor and have been working with startups and for startups for a couple of years right now. And currently I am a co-founder of a startup accelerator called Challenger, which is in Estonia, in Ukraine, and in Slovakia. So I can't wait to see you all.
That's amazing. Thank you very much, jury members, and we are going to put you into action very soon. But before that, I have a few more practical things that I want to tell you. And next up, if we can get the slides, during the breaks that we have, you're going to pitch. You're going to vote for the pitches that you liked, all right? So traditionally, we've always had some kind of an award for the best pitches, but this time, as we have 25 teams, it is very likely that not everyone will be able to watch all 25 pitches in the next 3.5 hours. So what we decided instead is that always after 5 pitches, we're going to have a break of 10 minutes, during which you can vote for as many of the 5 teams as you want. So essentially, it's kind of more like a like than a vote. But you can vote during each of the breaks for the previous 5 teams, and we're going to share the link through which you can vote. All right. Now, during the breaks, we're also going to have some activity. We're going to be having some panel discussions with the jury members, kind of challenging them as well and posing some questions to them. And also, we're going to be putting out there a Twitter wall during some of the breaks. Now, if you have any questions for the jury members, or you have questions that you want to send us, or you want to send us a picture of where you are watching this from, then please feel free to send a tweet with the hashtag Kiuas demoday hashtag. Yeah. And if you have any other questions or comments, post them there as well. We'll be happy to answer, and we'll be monitoring them and maybe get featured on the Twitter wall here then as well. All right, then lastly, we have put up on demoday.fi, the landing page of this event, a meeting system with the team so that if there's a startup that you would really like to talk more with, I'm looking at you all investors in the audience, then go to the website and book a meeting directly with them. It's with their personal Calendly or similar links. And if you don't want to miss certain startups, there are a few of them for which you have an eye for, then go to the demoday.fi. We have a schedule also there. Note that the times might, of course, change a little bit if we would have a team who's a little bit faster than 3 minutes. All right, but that's it for all of the practicalities. We have 25 pitches ahead, and the moment we've all been waiting for, we have now our first pitch, and that is from the younger part of the batch. Welcome on stage, Team Medified.
Hello. As a future healthcare professional, I know that mental health disorders are unfair for patients, professionals, and care providers. I'm Valtteri Korkeaski, the CEO and co-founder of Medified. Every 5th of us will suffer from depression. COVID-19 has been a great challenge for mental health, especially among the younger future generations. Due to complexity of the disease and limited resources, mental health disorders are a real problem for both professionals and patients. Ways to monitor care are outdated, which often leads to unoptimized treatment decisions. We want to reduce the number of depression patients by developing the broken treatment path. Medified offers a cloud-based software to enable data-driven treatments by creating secure communication channel between professionals and patients. We make professional work smarter while the patient receives optimal care faster. The digital therapeutic sector is saturated globally, while the online-offline care market is still heavily underserved. I believe that in the future, mental health care will be provided with a hybrid online-offline model with the cost-efficient and digital solutions. Our vision is to be the top solution for the hybrid care market. The patient-centric mobile application can be seen part of the treatment while activating and intensifying the care. With the use of machine learning algorithms, we are able to capture the individual needs to provide personalized care without causing an extra workload. For professionals, we provide unique clinical insights. Overall, we produce the impact and productivity of professionals by supporting diagnosis and patient flow. We have two different go-to-market strategies with the same base product. For individual therapists, we provide SaaS-based care platform to support the day-to-day clinical decisions. For healthcare providers, we offer data analysis component with APIs to enhance their existing care platforms. Both of these build our unique database, which could be later used for different data services. Our successful pilots with MVP have validated the proof of concept and clinical need. So far, we've been able to generate traction without raising any private funding. Our client testimonials are well aligned with our mission of developing mental health care. The potential, ambition, and diversity of the team is optimal for the future of health tech. The team has unique competence cocktail with a clinical, tech, and business background. Together with our advisors, we are able to have domain expertise for 50+ years. We are now raising strategic pre-seed funding round to develop the product market fit. We have already started preparation for the seed funding round that will open in Q2 in 2022. Medified is an impact startup with a validated MVP, ambitious team, and clear mission of developing a solution for a global problem in an underserved market. Our solution will support the digital transformation while maintaining the quality of care. We are the future of mental health. Thank you.
Thank you, Valtteri, for that amazing presentation. Now, next up, the harder part maybe, namely the questions from the coaches. So, do we have any questions from the jury?
Yes, thank you for the wonderful pitch. And my question is about team. So, because you mentioned it only briefly, what unique skills does each member, the valuable member, offer?
That is a great question. As you can see, I'm kind of presenting a future generation of entrepreneurs. I myself have a background in medicine and also in industrial engineering and management. So I guess I'm a good example what our team is made of. So we are kind of hybrid between the mental health and medicine and also the engineering side. But of course, we have a really strong tech team behind me. So we understand the difficulties as a future healthcare professionals, what are in the world of medicine, but also know that there are need for digital solutions to tackle those issues.
Thank you.
Do we have another question?
Yeah, thank you for that presentation. I'm just curious, would you describe yourself as a telemedicine app focused on mental health? And the follow-on question to that is, what's the regulatory landscape? Are you allowed to do prescriptions via, without having a patient in the office?
That is also a great question. We align ourselves to be a kind of supporting the telehealth service providers. So we want to focus on bringing our knowledge with the treatment monitoring services to those telehealth providers. So we want to be the component within those telehealth service providers. And coming to the regulatory perspective, that's also something that we take into really consideration. And currently we are in the EU, we are MDR class 1 device, so not supporting diagnosis, but providing more information. So we are working towards a more diagnostic tool in the future.
All right, maybe time for one more question. Good question so far.
Thank you. You partially answered the question I was thinking to ask about positioning and uniqueness. It is a tremendous market opportunity, but also a bit of a busy space. So if you can elaborate on other things you do to really stand out.
Yeah, so we see ourselves as a hybrid model. So we know that mental health requires some kind of face-to-face, or not face-to-face, but human interaction. So we believe that in the future there will be also human interaction within the mental health. So we want to be the tool to use in the hybrid care. Especially the fully digital market is really saturated. So we don't want to go there. We want to be the solution that kind of does the digital transformation incrementally rather than doing like the really disruptive, which is really crowded space at the moment.
All right. Thank you very much for the answers, Valtteri. Thank you, Team Medified. It is time to move on to our next pitch. And moving to a whole different topic, we have Teemu from EAS project. Welcome on stage, Teemu.
This doesn't seem very familiar to me. Still not hitting the right buttons with my brain, sorry. Here we go. EAS, whole EU as your home market. Fact, tax compliance issues are the main reason preventing online sellers and marketplaces from expanding to new markets. Market expansion is expensive. National compliance issues create artificial barriers to entry. EAS is a low-cost, single tool to open access to all European countries. Acquiring the knowledge required on the national laws and regulations is costly and time-consuming. All this knowledge can be accessed and used from a single, fully automated EAS solution. Customs processes are difficult and unfamiliar to most merchants. That's why EAS has automated customs data management and provided a secure customs data transfer. So what do we provide in effect? We provide access to 445 million affluent customers, regardless of where the seller is located. EAS saves money, time, and resources, and provides seamless deliveries and therefore happy customers. EAS is currently available for use with WooCommerce and Magento plugins. In the near future, Shopify, Amazon, and eBay plugins are in the development pipeline. There are no reliable market data, apart from one figure we find credible. It's 4 billion shipments from outside of EU to EU end customers annually. The serviceable obtainable market is in the region of 10 billion shipments a year and growing rapidly. Simply, EAS is outperforming the competition. EAS is the only fully automated, comprehensive VAT compliance solution for the whole EU. There are no monthly or annual fees with EAS. The current sales pipeline has 5 companies in the closing stage. On success, these companies will provide EAS revenue in excess of 2 million euros. Our core team is a PhD in indirect taxation, a PhD in finance, 1 acquired banking license, 100+ years in logistics and customs, 80+ years in global trade, and 40+ years in software development. We are born international. We speak 16 languages already. So what we are looking for is 2.2 million in funding. This will provide us an EU market entry with 1,500 customers, 5 new plugins, 1 new territory, and revenue in excess of 5 million euros. EAS, make the whole EU your home market. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Teemu, for the presentation. And thank you for being part of the Kiuas Accelerator program this summer. Now, next up, do we have some questions from the jury?
Yes. So it seems to me that it sounds like a big plan and very exciting ecosystem. Just want to understand, can you describe a little bit of the overall roadmap of your business development and what will be your next step?
We started the development with an idea of providing the end customers a secure single action purchase. Instead of asking the customer post-purchase for documentation or to pay other additional fees, everything can be done through us. In addition to that, because we already handle customs-related data for the merchant or the marketplace, we built a customs data management solution based on Hyperledger blockchain. And this was built in cooperation with Universal Postal Union. Both of these areas, the VAT compliance and the blockchain solution, provide numerous possible future developments. For the VAT compliance, the clear ones would be expansion to new territories, to include the EEA countries in it, for example. The blockchain will provide... Yes, sorry.
You're working with at the moment? So any partner you're working with at the moment?
We are not in the revenue stage, if that is what you mean.
All right.
Okay,
thank you for that. Other questions?
Yeah, quick question from my side. What's your anticipated revenue model and how are you looking to monetizing this?
We are a transaction-based cost, which is paid. We invoice it from the merchant or the marketplace. Like I said, we don't need an annual fee. We don't need a monthly fee. Everything is transaction-based. So if you don't use it, there is no fee.
All right, time for one more question.
Hey, quick question, and thank you for the lovely pitch. So you were talking about, how unique you are, but tell us something about your weaknesses or disadvantages currently that you're facing.
We're new to the market. Of course, we lack credibility with multiple companies working in the indirect taxation area. Not going to name any names, but they are selling basically product which is fully manual, slow, expensive to the our target customers. So we are the only one with the full automation. And we have discussed with basically our worst competitors the possibility of cooperating, and we are continuing discussions with one.
All right, I hope that answers all of the questions. Thank you so much, Teemu. And
thank you.
Next up, we're going to have a presentation from Sara from Team Flux from Sweden.
Hi, I'm Sarah, and a year ago I thought that agricultural fields looked like this. But unfortunately, quickly I learned that this is the new normal because of wild animals. We are Flux, and we enable people to coexist with wildlife. We turn what was previously a human-wildlife conflict into a new way of sharing space and resources with animals across the globe. We know it's not easy having elephants in your backyards, nor is having boars eating your crops each night. The costs are worth billions. It's the major cause of profit loss in agriculture alone and even costs lives. Being a farmer, you try fences, cameras, you hunt, but the problem is, well, the animals are very intelligent. They quickly adapt, so currently there's no solution on the market that works. Which is why the situation today is out of control and generates headlines all over the world. It has also become a political problem, and many farmers even quit their businesses as a result. The predictions are scary, which is why we aim to keep the balance with wildlife and the rising global population, and we won't stop until we achieve it. Our research-based solution combines AI and deterrence systems tailor-made to each animal species, mounted on autonomous drones that patrol the fields and keep animals away. We focus on prevention, provide statistics, and measure success. Our customer saves up to 200,000 euros in 3 years of using Flux and drastically decreases the carbon print of the farm. We are the first team in the world that can identify species of animals without human intervention. Together, we were able to go from this in 2020 to this in just 6 months. We are the first and only company targeting large wildlife with advanced technology. We are customer validated, efficient, scalable, and fully autonomous. In the future, we know that the farmer will have a completely autonomous system, which is only possible through a flawless hardware and software integration, something we have achieved with our product. We operate in the emerging multi-billion drone market and agriculture. Our solution has also high disruptive potential for forestry and infrastructure, as we today test our products even on trains in Sweden and Norway. We are looking to raise 5 million euros to keep up the speed, expand in Sweden and in the US, and add new customer segments during the upcoming 2 years. And that's it. Thank you. We are Flux. We are on a mission to coexist with wildlife, and you can help us achieve it.
Round of applause for Team Flux. All right. Do we have Sarah on the line?
Yes. Hello. Good morning. Or afternoon here.
Good afternoon for you too. I don't think the time difference from Helsinki to Stockholm is so great, but jury, would you have any questions for Sarah?
Yep. Thanks, Sarah. This is a really great presentation. It's a great direction. So can you please just maybe introduce us your tech team?
Of course. We started as a spin-out of the Royal Institute of Technology here in Stockholm, Sweden. And we have currently a really strong tech team, which consists of 3 PhDs. So we have all the knowledge in the team when it comes to both the hardware and the software parts. And we have also different detection specialists and also other team members that work with animal behavior. So that we have all the knowledge in the core team already.
Okay, my question would be, what prevents others to offer your solution?
The solution is quite advanced, so it consists of different parts. It's hard to copy just because we combine the best of artificial intelligence and the software that we have developed with the autonomy and the robotics for the drones, and also in order to have a standalone system that works. And also we combine on top of it the best deterrence systems that are tailor-made to the animal species. So our solution consists of different parts, and it's not only about the technology, but also about working with the researchers on the animal behavior.
Thank you.
All right, maybe one more question.
Thank you for your pitch. I was wondering about what challenges do you think you might, face in scaling going forward?
Yeah, that's a nice question, because we already now have a very high demand from the customers, but we see that this is such an advanced technology and it's an emerging market. So of course, with drones, it's not only about product development, but it's also about the legal parts. So we are addressing different challenges at the same time, and we need to sync all of them in order to scale.
All right. Thank you very much, Sarah, for all of those answers, and the jury for the great questions. So far, we've gone from mental health to EU tax compliance, and we've also heard of wildlife drones. And our next speaker is going to take us also into a whole different dimension. Welcome on stage, Kari from Ulta Scientific.
Hi. Have you noticed that every second kid seems to have diseases like allergy, skin problems, or even type 1 diabetes? Maybe you are worried you get one yourself, or your kids will get one like that. I'm Kari, we are Ulta Scientific, and we have some good news and bad news for you. First, some background. So far we have raised 700,000 euros, and our customers have launched 15 products, mainly in Finland, but also in England. Now we are asking 2 million to make the business truly international. And now the bad news. These diseases and about 150 others are called immune-mediated diseases, and they are increasing rapidly because of urbanization. People are moving away from the countryside to the cities, and our immune system is not getting the needed exercise anymore, and it fails. It starts to attack against harmless particles, or even worse, against your own cells. These diseases are a 100 billion euro problem in Europe alone, not to mention human suffering or the decrease in expected lifetime, which in case of type 1 diabetes is 13 years. The good news, the solution, it's completely new approach. It's research-based, patented, reconnecting nature, natural forest microbe powder that can be added to number of consumer goods to decrease the probability of getting these diseases. Many of the products are on 2,000 billion euro wellness market, where the competition is mainly against probiotics that have typically very weakly demonstrated health benefits. We are focusing on the powder and our brand, and our customers are bringing their products to the new verticals. Our business model is ingredient branding, where we license the use of powder to companies with existing customer base for the benefit of growth and low price elasticity. And the benefit for us is fast scaling up the business. The team combines experience in running international business to top-level research in the field of immune-mediated diseases. I'm Kari, we are Ulta Scientific. Thank you for the opportunity. Happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kari. And now to the funner part. Once again, the questions. Jury, feel free to ask your questions.
Thank you very much for your pitch. Very, very interesting domain. You presented here, you're planning to sell to different customer groups from what I'm getting with this licensing. Would you elaborate on the ideal customers and in case, you know, any particular strategies you will apply to reach those and convince them?
Well, we are data-driven based on research, so we convince the customers about the efficacy with peer-reviewed articles, and then we do some additional efficacy testing with their own products if needed. And our business model was licensing so that we will ask royalty from their net sales, and we will also sell the powder to them per price per kilogram.
Could you describe your IPR strategy a little bit more?
Yeah, the innovation was patented 2016, and we just recently, this June, received intention to grant from European Patent Office. We have also filed patent in USA and Canada, and we have a registered trademark to cover the fields where we are intending to operate.
Thank you.
All right. Maybe one or two more questions.
Thanks for that.
Go ahead.
Should I go ahead with my question? Sorry. Yeah. Thank you for the presentation. I'm just curious as to what the product is really here, because could we spend a bit, probably just a minute, to focus on the product itself?
Yeah, it's a powder that contains 1,000 different microbe species. So it's the most diverse microbe culture in the world. It cannot be cultivated, but it's harvested and extracted from the natural soil types. And it brings back the, like we are anyway cavemen and cave women, so we don't want to have, well, dirt floors anymore. This is the way how we bring back the nature to you, reconnecting you with the nature.
Okay, got it. Thanks.
Thank you for those questions, jury, and great answers, Kari. And a big round of applause for Ulta Scientific. And next up, we have Lavan coming on stage for Greenella.
Hi, my name is Lavan, CEO of Greenella. Greenella is specialized in electric vehicle charging solutions for housing companies. During the past 3 years, we have installed over 700 charging points and surveyed over 100 housing companies with financial success. What we have learned is that our customers are initially interested in Type 2 solutions, but because of the high price tag and lack of key features and simply being too powerful for the existing infrastructure, our customers settle for Shuko charging. But the technology of Shuko charging is limited. The standards do not support it and never will, and they are inconvenient to use. That is why we have developed our own charging station and service. What we have done is that we have taken the technology of Type 2 and combine it with the low power output of Shuko, 3.7 kilowatts, thus giving us a low power Type 2 charging station. Even with 3.7 kilowatt, it is still enough for the average person, as you get plus 200 kilometers during overnight charging. The concept of 3.7 kilowatts is something that the competition hasn't realized. They are more focused on high-powered charging stations, but this is a big mistake for several reasons. The benefits of 3.7 kilowatts are many, some of them being the price being a fraction of the costs, installation and the station itself. And at the same time, providing maximum safety with great reduction in size and weight. As for the business model, we sell the charging station. They work on their own, but they are not connected to the internet. But each one has an option to subscribe to our charging service, which includes metering and billing. And you can unsubscribe at any time. And because of the high subscription retention rate, our customers will be basically lifetime customers. With a young, diverse, and highly talented team, we know we can achieve great success. A single subscription generates 97 euros of revenue annually, and it can be scaled easily worldwide. All new cars sold in Europe will be electric vehicles by 2035, which means great new opportunities for new emerging markets. We want to be the Tesla of charging and are inviting you to join as an investor or to work with us. I thank you for this opportunity. My name is Lavan, and come and see me after the show.
Okay, thank you, Lavan. That was a really great presentation. Do we have any questions from the jury at this moment?
Yeah, thanks for the presentation. My question is, from the consumer's perspective, why would they choose your solution?
Well, basically because of the price and, well, actually it's the price and ease of use. There's no need to reinvent the wheel, it's just to make it a lot better. At the moment, it's just a hassle to charge cars, and and especially the high-powered charging station cause a lot of problems.
Okay. Any other questions?
So imagine the investors that you just invited to see you after your pitch would come to you and tell you, okay, I have 500,000 euros for you right now. How are you going to use it?
Well, actually, this is our first round, and we are seeking 200,000 euros. And that money will be used to manufacture 100 charging points and also to install them. So we do have an MVP ready and everything ready. We just need the capital to manufacture.
Any other questions?
Thank you. Very, very interesting, and also, you know, a bit of a crowded space. So I was wondering, in terms of production of the units, and are you taking any, you know, decisions there to keep the uniqueness and a competitive advantage?
Well, yes. I mean, like I said before, that the concept of 3.7 kilowatts, it's unique to us. I mean, there are charging stations with the same power output, but nobody has made it a concept. So after we start to install our charging devices, after that it's mainly software.
Okay, well, there you have it. Lavan has answered his questions greatly, and we have received really great questions from the jury. And at the moment, then I would like to say thank you to Lavan for his presentation, and now we will be moving on to the next phase. Thank you. Okay, and once again, thank you for the jury for being with us through the 5 presentations that we've had so far. I would like to also then call out to the audience and those in our live stream to just remember to go and vote now for the 5 teams that we've had present to us right at this moment. Remember, it's, you can choose whichever one that you like the most, and you can vote as many times as you want within your one link. Yes, but don't think that we've left you hanging. We have a really great panel discussion prepared for you now during this break. We will be having a 10-minute break, but during this time, let's begin the panel discussion. So yes, we have one question prepared for the jury. I hope that you guys are ready to listen and take in this question. So yeah, you just saw that we've had a really great selection of startups present in the last minutes, and they come from a diverse set of backgrounds and industries. What do you think about the different problems that these startups are solving?
I mean, I'll go first. At least with the company that we saw that was, you know, developing the soil, I think that's a really, really interesting problem to tackle, because, you know, obviously we live a bit too many sort of clean lives. You know, everything is doubly sanitized, and we're seeing, you know, super bugs come up. So I really think that, and as a fitness freak myself, I absolutely love that company, and I would be a customer if I had a farm.
Any other discussions? Yeah, I definitely think that I will be sending some information your way, Kartik, if you are interested in the startup, so that you can really get to know them a bit more. Okay. Does anyone have any other perspective on that question?
Well, I may just very briefly touch upon the, you know, immune diseases and, you know, the allergies everyone has. So I think that startup, and I'm sorry for not remembering the name, but that's something, you know, to be watched in the next years. This is really the topic that everyone, every state, every country is kind of dealing with. So yeah, best of luck to them. And if I had those 2.2 million, or I don't know how much they were seeking, I would definitely invest in them.
Definitely. I think we all would really want to have that amount of money for us to be able to invest in a lot of the startups that we have here presenting for us. Okay, and then we have one more question. So a lot of our startups are from the early stage and are still really trying to grow. And one question that we have is, what do you think about the challenges that they might be having to overcome during this stage?
Oh,
Well,
I can. Sorry, go ahead.
You were the first. Go ahead.
Well, I just want to add on the previous question. I mean, there's a red thread. I think in general that these companies are trying to solve big problems. They're not just trying to deliver things faster and more cheaper. I mean, there can be doing that as well, but there is a bottom line there that is, I think unique to companies that are coming from the Nordic region in general, and that's very important because they are competing on a global stage, and that is something that they should keep and use as their advantage. But in terms of challenges, as you were asking, then it's kind of the other side of the coin. It is large markets, but also with a lot of competition for several of these companies, and they really have to be clear on what makes them unique, and how they differentiate, and how they will compete and be really on point.
Okay. Are there any other comments?
Maybe as for the challenges, to me, the most important, one of the top 3 important things in the early stage startups is the team. So I would say, what they really need to kind of look into is to be sure that they have or that they share the same mission, that they just are aligned as a team, and also that not everything is kind of depending on one founder. We need the core team to consist of more people, that are kind of covering all the aspects of the business. And this is really important because investors obviously are looking at the team at this stage as the first thing, because the product can change, business model, everything can change, but the team has to be solid.
Definitely. That's really something that has stood out across the program for us, that a lot of mentors have mentioned that the team has to be really one of the best things that you have on your startup for it to succeed in the future. And then I have one last question, and I think I'll direct it at Kartik and Stanley. So basically, with how we mentioned that a lot of these startups are based in the EU and they are also looking to cater to EU markets, how do you think that these startups can cross over into countries like, or continents like Africa and Asia?
Yeah, actually, I think this is actually also, I think, just like continued discussion of the previous problem, the biggest challenge. I think the biggest challenge from my perspective is actually to really figure out the demand of your target market. I mean, if you're a consumer-facing product or your business that will be ultimately implemented by consumers, then I think it's really important for you to understand the demand, the desire, the desirability of the end consumers, right? If it is if you want to build up an ecosystem, then I think it's really important to understand. It is really to have that kind of roadmap, so that you can do it like step by step. So I think it doesn't really matter if it is a European market or it's a market in China. Actually, I also help some of my portfolio companies to develop business in Europe and United States. I think the golden rule here is actually to really to create value for your target audience. I think that is actually something that maybe I think startups can try to work on from day one.
Definitely. And how about you, Kartik?
Yeah, I mean, a quick comment on my side, because I think Africa is as a continent is quite particular. I'd suggest, and this is what I tell all companies, is scale using existing infrastructure. Like, don't try and go and build infrastructure yourself. I would make a strong push for these companies to use channel partners and set in place revenue sharing with existing local players and work with them rather than having sort of a foot on the ground. Like, try and deploy. That's my recommendation for most companies that are even expanding. Let's say companies in South Africa, they want to go to Nigeria. I say try and build something, get your foot on the ground, try it for 6 months, and then you'll see whether you want to have a foothold. And you'll see whether you want to actually physically go there and to do the rest of it. So running pilots, through channel partners or local companies that are already in sort of a similar sector as you, setting up revenue shares with them is in my opinion, the key to really expanding to Africa.
Okay, thank you. And then just one last question, just so that we can end off the panel discussion. Are there any general comments that you've had about the startups that have presented so far?
I have to say that their presentation skills were awesome. I really enjoyed each and every presentation. I was listening, I knew where I was, which sometimes, we don't as judges. So really an applause from me to all of them.
Well, there you have it. Just an applause for everyone. Okay. Okay, and if there are no more...
It's really well done.
Yes. Yes, we have been working tirelessly with the teams to really work on their pitches. So I think they have done these pitches at least 1,000 times, so they know it by memory now. And they are really polished diamonds at this point in time. Okay, but yes, we have 1 minute right before we go back into our next pitches. So I just want to remind everyone that you can vote for the best pitch of this group, and that is on our website at demoday.fi. And then, yes, if there are no more questions, then I will then just let the break go on. Okay, welcome back from the break. We have the next team presenting the Adjacent Possible. Welcome on stage, William.
Hello, we are the Adjacent Possible, and we are an idea factory that generates intellectual property that can be reused and can be applied into different industries to generate and enable the businesses of the future. Every year, more than 3 million patents are basically filed worldwide. And did you know that 85% of them are never commercialized? Yes, they become left on the shelf technology. This is crazy. Let's think about it for a minute. It takes also nowadays 10 years and $10 to $100 million to develop and commercialize a new material. We are here with Adjacent Possible to challenge the status quo. So in order to do that, we have developed something called the Exploratorium. So we worked on that for more than 12 months, and it's an AI-driven pipeline that can combine different data sources and data sets, such as patents, industrial information, emerging technologies, and business challenges that we can generate business idea. So we are able to navigate in that idea universe, and we can identify stuff like patents and tech that can be re-engineered to adjacent industries. We are not alone in this game. So great companies like IBM, iProva, IPRally have started already using machine learning in order to analyze patents and make better analysis. Even Google has introduced a new system and framework called BERT, which aims at understanding large and complex data sets like patents, which kind of tells us that there is an opportunity in this space. And the name of this new game is called the Accelerated Discovery. The Accelerated Discovery aims at cutting both time and cost dramatically in R&D by using a combination of AI, automation, and simulation. Our team has experience in this. Together, we have combined skills like business, scientific, AI, and IP, and we are experts in the field. We started 12 months ago, and we addressed and we worked together with universities, accelerators, and leading experts in innovation worldwide. And we found out that this is a great opportunity. So we decided, after the promising feedback and engagements, to continue our journey. So after being selected for the 90 days Fin program, we decided to incorporate in Finland, in Helsinki. And now we are asking for 2.2 million euros to cover the MVP, the legal expense, and the infrastructure, and the team expansion, of course. So that was it. We are the Adjacent Possible. We accelerate R&D through cross-industry serial innovation, and we are an idea factory. And now I will have your questions. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, William. So yes, do we have some questions from the jury?
Thank you for the pitch. Could you please elaborate a little bit more on your business model?
Yes, so in the business model, we forecast to have patents. We produce patents. So these patents can be either licensed or sold, or there is a value co-creation with other companies that can either buy them or license them after we create them. So this is basically our business model. We work with intellectual property.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I'm just very curious about, so is there any kind of like new tech being involved in this kind of like managing this data more efficiently?
Yes. Yeah. So you're asking if there is a new tech involved, like deep tech?
Yeah, or being like implemented, or yeah.
Right. So we built our own methodology in order to address this big idea universe. So yes, there is a completely new tech, even though we have experimenting with our MVP. So we are using existing technologies, but we have our own AI-driven pipeline to do that. I hope that.
Yeah, just a quick one on my side. Is there any sort of sector you focus on, and any industry you focus on? Just to narrow it down further.
Thank you for this question. Actually, yes. Even though we are a cross-industry open innovation studio, we do focus on sectors like food tech, aerospace, and material science in particular.
What was the first one you said? Was it food tech?
Yeah, food tech, yes.
Okay, don't stop there, keep them coming. We still have a bit of time.
Could you please tell us about the competitive space? Are there other players out there doing something similar?
So yeah, in the context of accelerated discovery as an emerging stream, yes, but we are the only ones who are able to re-engineer and leverage on what we learn to create novel ideas in different industries. So while everybody is highly focused into getting their IP and their innovation on a kind of blinded side just to go with the business strategy, we can basically be open and agnostic regardless of the industry. Actually, we can drive more efficiency in innovation because we can look at that idea universe with new eyes, basically, with fresh eyes. Because we are not basically constrained by the business strategy of any corporation. So we create an analogy like we can play poker while all the others are playing chess, and they must show their moves, and they must publish their patents, and we can see where they go and their innovation direction.
Okay, thank you for that, William, and thank you to the jury for their questions. Okay, next up we have our next team coming up, Mana Insect.
Hello everyone. My name is Ykä. I'm founder and CEO of Manna Insect. According to UN, we need over 1 billion tons more feed in the coming decades to feed animals. This is a new emerging $1 trillion market on top of the already current feed markets. Traditional feed markets are growing 5% annually, including soy, fish meal, and corn, which are all already unsustainable. That is one reason why insect-based feed markets are already growing 30% and are limited mainly because there's capacity challenges. It makes sense to use biowaste to feed insects. However, a significant portion of high-quality biowaste, like potatoes, are scattered all over rural areas on farms and are practically unused because of high transport and emission costs. We have developed our solution so that we can upcycle farm waste on-site using insects and convert that into high-quality animal feed. With an example $80,000 one-time investment, we can upcycle 1,000 tons of wasted potatoes annually and convert that into 150 tons of animal feed. And we can generate $300,000 annual revenue with 50% profit margin. We have actually this site now operational in Finland, and we are scaling it to full capacity during the winter. As each of these local ecosystems cannot produce enough to meet the high demand, we are aggregating all local future sites in one marketplace for feed companies. To give you an idea of the market potential, just US alone, there are 2 million tons of wasted potatoes on farm, which we can convert into $400 million annual revenue. We are a highly experienced team with serial entrepreneur background and also C-management level positions. And we have gathered an experienced advisory board and investors so far. We have a clear plan on how we are conquering the world in the next few years. And we are raising Series A round early next spring. And I hope you can join us. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Manna Insect. And now we have a round of questions from the jury for you.
Okay, I'll go first. Really, I love the company. I love what you're doing. I'm just curious about sort of the production side of things. How do you, convert it from, what's the process like? Just walk me through the process.
Well, actually, this is what we've been doing the past 3 years, is that we first learned how the larva, in this case, black soldier-fly larva, works and how you can actually mate them to produce more eggs. And in our case, we have made climatized shipping containers where we have all parts of the process from breeding to rearing. So practically we pre-process the waste, in this case potatoes, and we have a recipe of how many kilos potatoes and how many kilos of larva or grams of larva we put in a batch inside a container for the growing period. And then we take out and we have post-processing on how we separate the frass and larva on site. So our main, let's say, idea has been that everything is modularized to a site where it can be done practically anywhere.
And just to follow on that, sorry if I'm taking others' time here, but just talk to me about the pricing. Are you, where are you in the sort of pricing matrix in the industry?
Well, actually, that's another thing that we have been thinking a lot, and now we have decided that as insect feed has a global market price like any other feed ingredient, we have not focused directly on, let's say, making the price different. We're focusing on optimizing that we can produce it cost efficiently. So we have customers from pet food companies to chicken feed companies, but the price is more or less set by the global markets. So we haven't kind of focused on that, but we have found at the beginning we have found with potatoes that we can actually do it very optimized to produce feed.
I really love your solution, and I am really curious. What are your plans in the next 6 months in terms of development?
For next 6 months, actually the previous 6 months we were still focusing on making sure that our process is scalable. And now the next step is that we focus first that our production site in northern Finland, meaning from -30 to +40 degrees year round, actually is in full scale. And my job now as a CEO is think about the next step, which is where we're going to start the next 2 production sites. So in my mind, I'm only thinking about growth at the moment.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Ukka. Okay, and then now we have our next team coming up, and we have CompliancePal.
Good afternoon. My name is Vlad, and I'm the co-founder of CompliancePal. I'm here today to talk with you about how to deliver medtech innovation at software speed. A few years back, I was a software engineer at Nokia. We developed, together with Helsinki University Hospital, a remote patient monitoring solution. We tried to be compliant with the EU and US regulations, but in the end, Nokia decided to divest this business. You may wonder why. Well, among many reasons is the rigid regulatory pipeline. It is simply too rigid and too structured for both software developers and regulatory professionals. Software development moved at a much faster pace than the regulatory professionals can keep up to. The gap, the skill gap between and the tool gap between these two teams created a lot of friction, and over time, instead of us moving faster, we started to move slower. After I left Nokia, I thought that there must be a better way to develop the medical products using modern technologies, but still obey the regulations in the area. We work together with organizations that develop medical software in Europe and US, and we found out that this is a common problem. We developed a software solution that is able to analyze the evolution of the software product and build an audit trail at the time of change. The result is that you always have a releasable product. Our approach takes care of compliance from the beginning. The teams use common tools, and their combined skills work together for a common goal. Compliance is everyone's business. The manufacturers using our approach can benefit with the shortened certification process enables the sales to start faster. They can focus on their product instead of regulations, and least but not last, they have a happy team. They don't want the software developers to leave their team. In a world driven by opinions and the personal experiences of practitioners, we bring scientific rigor. We have strong industrial and academic background, and our solution has been peer-reviewed. We are not alone. We have 2 customers, two pilot customers, and one of them is using us for certification. We ask you to join us to expand the team and to build on the demand. Thank you.
Okay, well, there you have it. We have CompliancePal with us. Okay, let's hear it from the jury, what questions you guys have for Vlad.
Yeah, thanks for the presentation. So can you maybe give us some more introduction about what is actually the product and what is the service you're going to deliver?
Yes, so the product is extending GitHub with compliance workflows so that the audit trail can be collected during the software development. And then we have also a web UI that presents the changes that happen with the software in a way that is approachable for compliance professionals.
Okay, any other questions?
No, I don't have a question, but really well done, and thanks for the presentation.
Thank you.
Any comments on the presentation?
I have a quick question. Are you planning to expand your team anytime soon with some key missing roles or responsibilities?
Yes, we are at the stage where we are tech-oriented still, and we want to expand with on the sales side, and also because we are a SaaS business, we have to build the support infrastructure so that we can develop and support new programming environments that are used in medical field, and also to have this customer success infrastructure ready so that we can take as many on board as possible.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we still have time for one more question.
I'm just curious, are you able to deploy globally immediately? Just a question. I mean, since you're such a tech-driven solution, where do you see yourself going in the next 5 years geographically?
So at this point, we have a cloud installation that can be installed in any GitHub organization. So as such, we are able to deliver to anyone using GitHub. We also see that this cloud-based solution is not the right approach for many of our customers, potential customers, and they will like the solution to be on-prem, and that would be the next step.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Juri, for your questions, and thank you, Vlad, for your presentation. And now we can welcome up the next team, Rawhide.
Hi everybody, I'm Irina from Rawhide. It's time to disrupt the conventional coffee industry and challenge the Nescafés of this world. Nobody drinks as much coffee as we do in the Nordic region. So why not start the disruption here? Drinking too much coffee has adverse effects on your health. Now it's not working, let's see. Here. Perfect, sorry. It has adverse effects on your health, and 15% suffer from acid reflux, and more doctors recommend to stop drinking coffee altogether. So is there a solution? We call it the next generation coffee. It's a low-acid mushroom coffee. So instead of getting a rush and a crash, you get a much more stable and balanced boost without the jitters. We sell to 350 customers in 10 markets, in addition to online sales. Online, we cater to the millennials. They are the real disruptors. The younger generation, they want a coffee which is more compatible to their healthy lifestyle choices. So why choose our coffee? Our coffee is the most low acid of the mushroom coffees. It has a pH of 6, with 7 being neutral. It's a secret recipe that we developed, and we've started a patent process for this. Secondly, ours is the only whole bean mushroom coffee. And all coffee lovers know that whole beans means more delicious and fresh coffee. So why invest in us and our team? Well, I've always been a dreamer and disruptor and wanting to change the world. I started my first company 20 years ago, Robert's Coffee Cafe in the heart of Copenhagen. And we pioneered with to-go plant-based drinks at that time. I had a Nordic distribution company for 12 years, pioneering with superfoods and raw foods. And yeah, had a great network in the health food business globally. Sophie started working with us 2013, responsible for marketing and branding. Matthias joined us recently as the responsible for the B2C shop. And he's powered by a mushroom coffee, as you can see. He's a millennial. We're looking for 300,000 for our next growth stage, so we can start our own roastery. From here, we want to grow and scale together with you and develop the most delicious and nutritious and sustainable hygge foods and drinks available on Mother Earth. We hope you want to join us on our journey and have a hygge moment, because coffee is more than a drink. It's bringing us together, and hoping that you'll join us on a virtual coffee taste of the mushroom coffee with a moonshot recipe. So cheers, and thanks for listening. I like to say in Denmark, kan I hygge jer?
Okay, Irina, thank you for that. Okay, do we have any questions from the jury at this point?
Yes, very exciting. Yeah, so my question is, actually I have two questions. First question is, how's the taste? My second question is, when can I have it? Well, in Shanghai or in Tokyo? Yeah, because Asia is such a big market and a growing market for coffee.
It's one of my top list, absolutely coming there. So I would love to come there very soon. You have the reishi, you have the traditional Chinese medicine over there. So it's basically also a combination of kind of our Western way of drinking coffee and your way to look at health. So hopefully very soon with the added, hopefully, finances, we're able to grow there. Thanks.
Cool.
Otherwise, I'll send you a cup or a big pack of coffee.
Thanks. Yeah, super look forward, yeah.
Yeah, just from my side, I had exactly the same question that Stan had. Is first of all, how does it taste? And then secondly, how do the mushrooms, change the coffee itself? Because I assume it's a combination of ground coffee and the mushrooms, right? So how does that play into the caffeine and so on?
Yes, and the taste, it tastes like your favorite cup of coffee. So, and you have to taste it yourself, because always coffee is a little subjective. But based on the over 100 five-star reviews we've got on Amazon online in the US, a lot of them agree on the taste. And then, yes, the mushrooms are added. They are medicinal as an extract, water soluble. So you can have it also in all kinds. You can add it on an instant coffee. You can add it on so we want to also develop some other hygge comfort foods and drinks with the mushrooms. I hope I answered all.
Yeah, I mean, I'll trust you more about the taste once you send me a pack. But other than that, yeah, really excited to see what else you can fit the mushrooms into.
Thanks.
And just to smoothly follow up, I'm asking for one pack of that coffee as well. I would say one pack for each jury member. I think everyone will agree, right? As a huge coffee drinker myself, I really, really enjoyed your pitch. and your presentation. You're very lovely. And I loved the word Nescafe that you used, and we all know what it means. That means nothing good, right? Nescafe. So my question goes to customers, because this is a very saturated market with like so many products, and especially, you know, you mentioned millennials, but we have others. So how do you want to reach them? How do you want to show them how unique you are? You know, how do we get to the information and then want to buy it?
Yes. Well, basically, it is a lot with brand building and finding the brand ambassadors around the world. And I unfortunately have Sophie in my team, so she's already doing a great job. But of course, with some further investment, we can build a brand further and communication, very important. And we have some lovely distributors in 10 markets already who are doing a lot with marketing and branding. So hopefully this will help also.
So are you going to use also like blogs, you know, and kind of help to support the topic?
Yes. And also the brand ambassadors and they do the blogs. So kind of they promote the brand for us. This is also very important.
Okay, we don't have time for any more questions at this point, but thank you to the jury for your questions, and thank you, Irina, for your presentation. The next team that we have up is Mistio Private Limited.
Good evening, Helsinki. I'm Samuel John, the co-founder of Mistio. We are from India, from a state called Kerala, and its capital city, Trivandrum. Our neighbors in the city are the world's only trillion-dollar temple, and mountains with lush tea gardens to the east, with splendid beaches of the Arabian Sea to the west. Between the mountains and the sea lay a land full of pristine lakes and abundance, a land we fondly call God's own country. And 3 years ago, God's abandoned it. 2018, August, almost to the week today, Kerala experienced a once-in-a-100-year flood. Rains poured continuously for a week over the state. By the end of it, 433 people were dead, 140 were listed as missing, and more than 1 million people had to be rescued. And there was a total economic loss of about $5 billion. The flood was a wake-up call for me. I saw firsthand how unprepared we are to mitigate against this risk. And I, along with my co-founders and colleagues, set on a journey to fix that problem. Mistio is a climate fintech company. We work in the domain of climate risk mitigation, providing know-how and technology to enterprises and governments to offset the cost of climate or weather-related exigencies. Over the past decade, we have seen an annualized global insured loss of about $90.3 billion in weather-related risks right across the world, and we are addressing this market. Our platform, Climate Chain, simplifies the settlement process in the risk transfer domain. Simply put, the platform automates the claim processing in weather risk insurance products. It auto-generates and verifies claims for beneficiaries based on weather indexes and probability triggers, unlike the traditional model where the claims were settled post-event. Climate Chain works in tandem with 4 other products. CatRisk, our natural catastrophe monitoring system. Indra, our hyperlocal observation and weather forecasting platform. Climate Cover, our insurance product universe, and Climate Token, which is a decentralized risk exchange which enables risk takers anywhere in the world to invest in climate risk anywhere else in the world. So how long are we away from all this? Our timeline will see us releasing the products with Indra and Climate Cover launching in 2021, and the full stack to be in production by June 2022. We have excellent traction in the market. We are revenue positive on proof of concepts. Our biggest win to date is a contract with the government of my state, where 25,000 farmers are being benefited from the deployment of this platform. We are currently aiming to raise a fund, a seed round. We are looking to raise $5 million for about 10%. We aim to use the money for talent augmentation and aggressive product development timeline that we've put for ourselves. The solutions are in one form or the other addressing key elements in 13 out of the 17 Sustainable Development Goals. Our team comprises of my co-founder Chaco Jacob, who prior to Mistio was a global agri-lead at IBM Weather Company. My colleagues Nick and Satish lead our business in Australia, along with Annie and Smith are leading product and project implementation initiatives, and Ambrish supporting them with technology strategy. We have another 15 colleagues working out of various parts of India, all coming together with one vision of making our climate futures secure. Thank you. We are Mistio.
Okay, that was Mistio Private. Okay, do we have any questions from the jury at this time?
Yeah, I think first of all, thanks for presenting such a kind of like important thing. I mean, we need issues. I mean, we need methods and ways of vehicles to fight against the catastrophes. And my question is, we also understand that they're having a bunch of like vehicles, financial instruments around insurance, like tornado bonds or like those like catastrophe, like derivatives. So, so can you just like maybe explain more? So why do you think like your solution is like more superior, or how do you kind of like pricing do the to price the risk more efficiently than the conventional financial vehicles? Yeah.
Thank you, Stanley. That was a very good question. So I'll just answer that by talking about the capability of the platform. Our platform's job is to settle it near real time. That means that as and when the probability of the tornado is highlighted, the payments are already made to the insured. So that is going to be the game changer. How insurance is conducted. The insurance business is conducted in the world. You're right. The business model exists. The parametric business model has been around for quite a while, but from an institutional standpoint of view, they are pretty slow. What we are trying to do is optimize that process. Insofar as the pricing strategy is concerned, typically a long-range climate data is used for creating these weather, creating the term sheets. What we have seen is that entire timeline is compressing. So you've gone other 30-year forecast. Now we are talking about 3-quarter forecast, and this is where we come in because our team consists of climate economics economists as well as climate actuarials, and that is the key strength that we have.
Thank you very much for your presentation. I was wondering how far will this round take you? Kind of, if you can elaborate on the important milestones that you plan to achieve short term.
Sure. So we have a very aggressive product timeline that will see us deploying the products, and we will be in production by Q1 of 2022. That's roughly around June of next year. What we hope to do is this round will take us for approximately another 20 months, where we want to expand quite aggressively in some of the key markets that already are feeling the impact of climate change. We are already home in India, but we are expanding quite aggressively in Australia as well as Latin America, and you're part of the reason we are in Kiwas is looking at the Scandinavian and Nordics market to do the same.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Samuel. That's all the time we have left for Mistio's questions. And then now we will be going on to our break. And the break that we'll be having at this point in time will be a Twitter wall. So make sure to share all your comments and questions on our Twitter hashtag Kiwas Demo Day. Okay. And thank you for being here.
All right, welcome back to the stream. Now, we've seen quite many pitches already, and we still have plenty to come. We've seen topics all from solving immune diseases and telemedicine and whatnot, but now we're going to take a dive straightly to the hearts of people, namely with food. Welcome on stage, Crusty Food Kids.
Hello everyone, my name is Fabian and we are Crusty Food Kids, an alternative, a sustainable and meaningful alternative to takeaway. So, since the origin of time, making and eating food creates a strong emotional connections between us. But in the modern society, we often lack time to make food together. And delivery platforms make it so convenient for us to get warm, satisfactory meals at nearly zero effort. And for this reason, the food delivery market is one of the strongest industries, generating $300 billion in revenue this year. But since most of us, I mean many of us could afford a cleaner, we still clean our home ourselves, and this applies to making food as well. And the reason for that is that takeaway food does not always fulfill the emotional and social needs related to food that we have. So Crusty delivers to your home or to your office restaurant-like premium meals in the form of half-prepared food kits that are wrapped in 100% compostable and reusable packaging. So Crusty turns cooking, which could be quite painful sometimes, into a social and emotional experience, but without compromising the convenient taste and authenticity. So we have three types of product at the moment. Crusty Light, which are single products that can be finalized at home. The Crusty Family, which is the full brunch experience that can be prepared during the weekend. And the Crusty Team, which is a team building activity around food that we offer for business. So what is the sweet spot on the market and what is our secret sauce? Is what we call the contribution effect. Contribution effect is that if you put a little effort into the food that you create, you end up placing it much more value into it than having ready-made options. So this is our team, fully passionate, international, and with a wide range of skills. And we are passionate about making people smile with food and with food experience. So we started our journey in my kitchen in Pasila last year in October. And since then, we have delivered to more than 1,000 customers, totally bootstrapped, and we generated almost 40,000 euros. Our customers really love what we're doing and sees our solutions as a better and more affordable solution than restaurants. But we are not stopping here. So after creating the best brunch you will ever make, we are expanding to different product and live events, such as the best team dinner, the best date night, and the best family dinner. So for food inspiration, check our Instagram account. If you want to experience beautiful family moments, you can check our website. And if you want to organize a fantastic event and team building activities for your companies, please contact me. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Fabian. And now is the tough part. And that's going to be the questions from the jury. So, jury, would you still be up for a few questions for Fabian?
Yeah. Talk to me about your distribution strategy here. Are you going direct to customer, or are you sort of? I hope you're planning to leverage food delivery apps and be in them to allow. So, talk to me about your distribution strategy.
So we had a very different strategy at the beginning, but we noticed that we couldn't make our business profitable going through delivery platforms directly, and so we decided to do it on our own. So we have set up our own logistics system for the first phase of our company. What we know is that a lot of delivery platforms start offering API connections that we could, with a much better, much interesting business model for us. So our idea is that when we grow, we will partner up with delivery platforms platforms and utilizing their API technology. I think the provision model is about 7%. Right now, if you want to be in the delivery app, it's almost 20-30%. So it eats all the profit basically.
All right. Any other questions?
Yes, my question is about growing into other markets. I believe that delivery from your own kitchen could be a tremendous experience. But how are your thoughts and plans, in kind of internationalizing, to other countries, and still keeping, the quality?
Yes, of course, this is a challenge. I agree with that. The thing is that I started from our kitchen. Now we have a professional kitchen. It wouldn't be impossible otherwise to operate it. But the thing, what are we doing in the kitchen? We are actually preparing, making some preparations such as pastries and desserts, and we deep freeze them. So the thing is that our customers, we give some specific instructions, and the customer finalize it. So it means that going forward, we just need to add some fresh elements to our basis. So we could set up some kitchen in different countries and finding a distribution partner in those countries.
Maybe one last question.
I was just gonna comment that, Fabien, you're French, man. You can't deep freeze a croissant. You lose all the freshness.
I totally disagree, because what we are doing is the dough is raw. So people wait for the dough to rise overnight, and you get a very fresh croissant experience at home with the smell. So we are into the experience. But if you think about a country like Finland, you could have some nice bakeries, but most of people don't go to bakeries. So what we want to provide is actually a bakery experience at home with simple experience. So for instance, for the croissant, we ask people to actually egg wash it, wait overnight. So it's not a ready-made solution. It's a solution where people actually contribute to it.
All right.
Okay,
I think that's the time for the questions.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sorry, we're going to have to continue. Thank you so much, Fabian. Now, with the next team, when I read their application for this summer's Kiuas Accelerator program, my reaction was, what on earth? But maybe we let them explain what they're doing. So welcome on stage, team Anarchy Labs.
Hello, I'm Hannu from Anarchy Labs, and we are boosting industries with augmented reality, starting with helping the drone pilots. So, I'm sure we're all familiar with this view nowadays. A drone pilot squinting at the sky. Where's the drone? Where's that tiny dot? Which way is it pointed? Then, looking at the controller, the display crammed with information. Then again, where is that drone again there? And this is not only happening for hobbyists. This is harming industries. But we have a solution. Our first product, AirHUD, uses augmented reality to display information where it is needed, in the sky where the drone is. And we have some surprisingly big names already starting adoption. Now the benefits of lifting the focus back into the sky is improved safety, improved situational awareness, and this leads to business efficiency. The drone pilots themselves have estimated 40% savings in operation costs and time. Traficom has even suggested that our system will allow spotless drone operations, which means that we will be halving the team sizes. The business model is simply software as a service with license fees, monthly license fees, but the third-party integrations and customization has already started with these interesting parties. The vision is that augmented reality will revolutionize the way we are operating intelligent vehicles and machines of the future. And we are creating those user experiences already. So the roadmap is really exciting. We are going to market with expert product for inspection industry. then widening towards other drone industries, becoming the leader in augmented reality for drones. Then we'll be ready to conquer the consumer markets when the glasses become affordable enough. And all the while targeting civil aviation, urban air mobility, robots underwater, underground. So basically not just a drone company anymore. The team has grown fast, from us 2 founders a year ago to now 10 wonderful persons and excellent advisors already helping us. So, join the revolution, especially if you're a drone pilot, but also you might want to keep an eye on us as we conquer industries. We are Anarchy Labs, and we are boosting industries with augmented reality. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Hannu. And now to the question from the jury. What should Hannu explain?
Yeah, thanks for the presentation. I'm just curious about maybe can you expand more about what is unique of your technology?
We uniquely bind all of the things that we do into actual world. We are the only system in the world that we know of who are capable of showing live distance between a drone and the nearest building. We draw that distance in the air between the building and the drone. This is normally done by looking at mobile displays. So we are totally world-based, and we bring in the digital twin of the world and then combine these information from the robot and the digital twin of the world to meaningful information for the operator in question. So different information for different operations.
Another question.
Yeah, so I just have 2 questions, and we'll try and do this quick. First of all, do you also offer drones? Are you also on the drone side, or are you more on servicing drone companies like DJI and those companies?
We are purely software house. We are drone platform independent. We will be AR glasses independent when they come available, when there will be competition for the HoloLens at some stage.
Okay, so then can users or people who have clients of DJI integrate your software and use it with their existing drones?
Yes, exactly. We've started with DJI, and as you saw, Parrot immediately wanted to jump in. So we are going into these drone platforms. We will bring our software into there, and as we saw with the Altitude Angel there, they immediately understood that their aviation information data can be shown in totally new ways via our platform. So we are an integration platform for other softwares also.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, really interesting stuff.
Thank you very much, jury, for the questions. Thank you, Hannu. Next up, we're going to take a deeper dive into the renewable energies. Welcome on stage, Helmeri from Postbalance.
Hi, I'm Helmer Haapala from Postbalance. We are your guide through solar energy. Have you thought about buying solar panels on your house? If you were to buy the panels now, would you know where to start? The current solar panel market is a wild, confusing jungle, which creates a glass ceiling towards greater adoption of technology. If done incorrectly, a solar panel investment can end up hurting the environment more than helping it, while also being a total waste of time and money. But how can you, as a consumer, be sure that the investment you make now is the most efficient one for you? That is where our story begins. Our mission is to help consumers transition to green energy in the most efficient way. The way we do this is by making a customer relationship right from the start, when you are considering the investment. That's when we're going to offer you an analysis of the optimal specifications for your system, as well as the profitability of the investment. Once we have assisted you on choosing the right system, we will guide you through the investment process. We will compare the offers for you and recommend a supplier that would best suit your needs. The most important step is the last one, because a typical lifetime of a panel investment is 25 years. That's when we offer you an easy way to real-time manage the whole energy system. This way, you can keep track of the realized impact and even improve it by up to 40%. Here is a practical example of what the MVP looks like. But who are we then? We built this team so that we complement each other by specializing in very different fields. Our journey has just begun in last December, but within just 3 months in, we closed our first deal with a customer. In 2021, we'll be speeding up our development, building the product from MVP to full version, and expanding our team. We are looking for new talents and advisors to join our journey. We are also planning on a pre-seed round next year, so stay tuned. I'm Helmer from Postbalance, and we are your guide through solar energy. Thank you.
Great presentation, Helmer. And now we're tuning into the questions from the jury. So jury, would you have any tough, really tough questions for Helmer?
Maybe I'm curious about what would you use the funds or in the investment for? What do you plan? What are your plans?
Well, as of now, we're not asking for an investment. We plan to grow. When? Yes, that's for scaling up and going international.
I'm just curious, have you deployed this product and are you seeing some clients interested in it?
Yes, we have initial market interest and we've been really doing market research and trying the product, the MVP version of the product in the market.
When you're going to recruit new team members going forward, what kind of competencies, skills are you looking for?
So as I said, right now we're looking for a software developer. So the vacancy is open right now. I'm joining all of you to find us one. And next we'll be building the team with sales and marketing skills.
All right, maybe a few more questions. It's a rapid fire round.
So what weaknesses or disadvantages are you seeing now?
Well, in the market or in our actions?
In general. Whatever you want to say.
Well, in general, the weakness on the market right now is that there are several actors on the market who do one thing, but one thing only, and they have their own interests. So, for example, the solar panel sales companies, if you ask them what panel should I buy, they of course tell you the biggest one. So that's the weakness of the market we are addressing right now.
Mm-hmm.
All right. That's it for the questions. Thank you very much, Helmeri. Now, at this moment, I would like to thank the jury members who have been with us so far, and I would say let's all give a round of applause to all of them for all of their questions and how they've been roasting all of the pitchers on stage. And yeah, now it's time to actually introduce our next set of jury members. So would we have online Katja, Juha, also we have Vladimira, and we have Ekaterina. My bad. Are you online? I can hear something.
We can't hear anything.
All right, but we can hear you. All right.
Should we start with introductions, I'm guessing, but we can't hear you at this moment.
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Now I hear you. Hi, everyone.
Hi.
My name is Pate. In my day job, as the founder of running Inclusive, a community advancing diversity, equity, and inclusion organizations. Aside from that, here I'm an investor. I started to invest. Okay. Angel investing early, London-based VC at Angel Program, and I'm continuing in that program this year and next year as well, investing for early stage startups.
All right, I think the line was cutting off a little bit, but thank you, Katja. Maybe we can move on with the other introductions.
I can go next. My name is Ekaterina, I'm partner of a Nordic VC firm called Venture. We focus on seed and early stage investment here in the Nordics and currently investing from 120 million. Pleasure to be here.
Nice to have you. And then?
Yes, hey, my name is Juha. I'm a partner at Lifeline Ventures. We're an early stage investor based here in Helsinki. I'm great to be here.
Thank you.
Hi everyone, greetings from Prague. I'm startup program manager at Microsoft and also co-founder of Lumos Investment Collective, a platform connecting female angel investors with startups based in the CE region. And I'm Vladimir, nice to meet you all.
Thank you very much. We're going to put you into action right away because our next team is going to be Linki Technologies, and they're going to teach us something new about computer vision.
Moi, Mitakulu. Welcome to Linki, a Stockholm-based deep tech startup. Critical components are everywhere, such as PCB electronics used by airplanes and batteries. Visual inspection is used to detect the cosmetic and assembly defects of such components and systems in order to prevent catastrophic failures. The most significant customer pain point is critical components often contain very sensitive information, which greatly prevents the adoption of popular cloud-based visual inspection solutions. These, however, have created a very huge market, of which size is $3.7 trillion in 2025. We are still in its early stage. Our value propositions are privacy-preserving, highly accurate inspection results, 0% manual labeling effort, faster inspection time, data-centric AI, and cross-platform. Our solution is very easy to use and integrate, while guaranteeing 0% source data untouched, sent, and leaked to any third party in the entire inspection and AI lifecycle as our secret recipe. When compared with the leading players in the computation, our privacy-preserving and minimized data labeling effort make us right here. Our business model is really flexible, which supports both subscription-based and license-based pricing models. The monthly ROI is expected to be 92% plus. We mainly do direct sales at our niche in Sweden and Norway this year, and we have already collected very good feedback from one Swedish aviation user. We aim to close up to 100,000 euro sales deals by the end of this year. We also have an open business door to China via our local senior contacts. We are a founding team with the right background and competencies to address the above challenges at the right time. We also have a very strong and committed Sweden-based advisory board to help us bridge the gaps with our target sectors. Our ask is a 300,000 euro investment to strengthen our current and future customer onboarding and product development activities. In the post-AI era, especially when data privacy and information security issues are on rise due to higher geopolitical risks and instability than ever before, for the Nordics and the EU, let's unlock super AI intelligence without data leakage for smart manufacturing, sustainable battery and utilities in a different and secure way. Kiitos.
All right, thank you, Lou, for the presentation. Now, with our fresh jury, could we have some challenging questions?
Yeah, thanks. I can start a good presentation. Can you tell a little bit in more detail how do you acquire customers?
So we basically do B2B direct sales, so via our contacts at the company. And then we started with the pilots and then, try to talk to the decision makers within the company, within the organization. And this is what is actually happening in Sweden and Norway. But at the same time, we want to keep an open door with China. And in China, the market size is never a problem. The only thing is about the timing. So our senior contacts right now is helping us to connect the dots. So when, let's say, the COVID-19 and its variants is under control, it's a very good time for us to continue that business as well.
Thank you.
Our questions.
I guess Yeah, I think it's my turn. Yeah, excellent presentation. Thank you so much for that. My question is kind of similar than Juha's. So I saw also on your website that you guys are aiming for enterprise customers. So I was wondering, and your background is pretty technical. So my question is how you want to plan to get in touch with enterprise clients if you have some, sales strategy and so on.
Yeah, I mean, basically right now what we're doing is we reach out to them as well as we got introduced by our, professional contacts that we have known them for many years. And then we have this type of trust and it's very easy for us to get introduced to the circle. But I admit, 2B business is never easy. It shouldn't be easy. So we also have this, fighting spirit. So, you fight hard and you don't give up. And, basically for me, in my previous job, I have been able to actually close more like Uber-like, 2B customers for my ex-employers. So, I mean, I like to steal customers from our competitors, and I like to learn from our competitors about their success and then to apply those to our story. And also, right here, because you're from Microsoft, so basically for us, we had a very good discussion with one of your competitors who are actually one of the top 3 most valuable companies. So we are happy to see, they acknowledge our existence and our contributions. And they think, our solution could be complementary to as one certain layer to their existing architecture. So this is what we are really happy to see and to hear.
All right, so a lot of good questions about sales and acquiring customers, but would we maybe have one more quick question for Lou before we move on to the next team?
Sure, I can go next. Thank you for the presentation, and I have a question on the market actually. So how do you think, or what needs to be done to be the category leader in this space?
Well, excuse me. At least, let's say for the companies
manufacturing companies who have these stringent requirements about their sensitive information. We have to be more like a privacy preserving, meaning, in the entire inspection and AI life cycle, no data sent and touched and shared, leaked to any third party, including Linki ourselves. So this is a differentiator one. And the second one is we are doing our best to minimize the data labeling effort in here, because the leading players here, the best is Google, but in our industrial use case example, we have been able to do better job here. So those are the, if that would actually answer your questions.
Yeah, we're going to have to move on. Thank you very much for the questions, and thank you, Team Linki. Next up, we're going to move to another company in Sweden called Brim. Take it away.
Our home is on fire. Generations of overconsumption has taken its toll. For humanity to have a future, business as usual is no longer an option. What if the very thing that has caused this could restore it without spending a single dollar more, the same money working harder at the very job it's trying to do? Every year, brands spend an enormous $500 billion on ads that consumers have become experts at dodging. Studies prove that 83% of digital ads are completely ignored. Ad blocking is rife, and we are sick of being clickbaited. People are waking up to the knowledge that their power is their attention and their money. They are beginning to boycott brands that damage and disrespect the planet. They want brands to stop greenwashing and take responsibility. Imagine a world where wasted advertising dollars power the non-profits who are already working so hard to clean up our collective mess. Where brands replace hard sell ads with meaningful storytelling that showcases the work they're doing to help clean up the planet, how they are reducing deforestation, human slavery, and carbon footprint in their supply chains. Imagine community-based initiatives powered by brand money and consumer passion and action that drive positive change. We imagined it. We called it Brands for Impact, Brim, a mobile app for conscious consumerism and change-making collaboration. How does it work? Brands come to Brim to share their video stories about how they are reducing their ecological footprint. 50% of the money used to host those stories is awarded to the users for their attention, which they donate to non-profits. Simple. Users come to Brim to find brands to buy from to support planetary cleanup. They get involved in brand-driven, community-based change-making initiatives to help non-profits. They share their ideas on how brands could be doing more. Brands cannot just gatecrash onto Brim. We are developing a charter of impact with strict brand acceptance criteria. Brim has a huge addressable market of $500 billion. We are targeting less than 1% initially. Our primary business model is revenue through media buying, 50% to platform, 50% to non-profits. In a few weeks, our MVP will be released to marketing industry heavyweights, eco-warriors and non-profits to start the marketing revolution. We are just in time for a global impact revolution and have been funded by the Swedish Innovation Agency as a scalable innovation. We are the only platform to bring together brands, consumers and non-profits, which means less petitioning, more action. Brim has 50 years of relevant experience. We are marketeers, advertising specialists, and impact community builders. We have the perfect combination of experience and passion to transform the broken marketing model into a global force for change. Brim. Here for good. Our pre-seed is open. Invest in us to drive $500 billion into a global force for good.
Okay, that was Fiona from Brim. And we have her on the line at the moment, but she's unable to put her camera, so we'll just go on with that. Okay, do we have any questions from the jury for Fiona?
Sure, thank you for the presentation. Could you tell us a little bit more about your go-to-market plan?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
I'm so sorry you can't see me. We could see me earlier. What a disaster. So I'll go to market. Yes, in a few weeks we release our MVP. We want to get that out to some to brands that have got sustainability at their core. Give them a month to play with it and test it. Then we plan on releasing it to some eco-influencers and non-profits to join the conversation, join the interest, and then it's a case of play, test, learn, repeat until we get to where we need to be, and then adding some features, and then play, test, learn, repeat some more.
All right, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Katarina. Are there any other questions from the jury?
My question is a bit related to Ekaterina's as well. Something elaborate on your strategy for growth and which team is successful and the one that is able to execute.
Could you repeat that? I couldn't hear it very well.
Yeah, so try again. So my question is a bit related to Ekaterina's. I'd like to elaborate a bit more on your strategy for growth. Why your team is the one that is able to successfully execute.
Okay, I think I've heard you said it's quite similar, and why are we the right team? So our team has got so much experience in marketing and advertising and actually campaigning on front lines in the Amazon to, you know, fight against fossil fuel in businesses trying to pull down people's houses. And so we've got the full range of marketers, advertisers, campaigners, so much passion, so much energy. You know, and we just can't wait to get this out to market because we feel we're exactly at the right time, you know, from a sustainability perspective and also from the marketing perspective, that brands are so distrusted, and that, you know, the next generation of millennials are really sitting back and pushing away from advertising. And, you know, we found this way to really channel this wasted money and to get that into the right hands. And I think that's our unique backgrounds as a culmination really has found this really sweet spot where we can make sure that we drive, you know, potentially billions of dollars to the right people who are cleaning up our mess right now as we speak.
Okay, yeah, that's okay. Thank you for that. That's all the time that we have for questions for Brim. And thank you, Fiona, for your answers. At the moment, then, we are going to quickly go into a 10-minute break. But let me just remind you about a couple of things. We are going to have our panel discussion with our lovely judges at the moment. And then just one more thing. You can vote for the past startups that have presented so far on the links that have been provided on Twitter and on the stream chat. So vote, vote, vote for your favorite. Okay, and now we can definitely begin with our jury panel discussion. And I will definitely go with the first question. Just the general question, how have the pitches been so far? And what do you think makes the best pitch? And that goes to the jury.
If I go first,
Yes, of course, Juha.
Hope that's okay. Thanks. Yeah, we've seen this two now as jury members and the others, of course, I would say excellent quality. I would not expect less from the Kiwas teams. I think what makes a good pitch is, of course, the kind of absolute clarity that you're able to tell, like they say, to a 6-year-old or Labrador retriever that like what you're doing. So. And I think the team so far have made a great job. Thanks.
Definitely. Thank you for that comment, Juha.
I agree with Juha, and I think what we would also love to understand is why your team is the one to address the problem. So don't skip the team slide and let us know why you are the people that we should believe in.
Definitely. Any other remarks about this question?
Yes, so I would say the same as Ekaterina, that highlighting the team and its unique capabilities is something that is super interesting, as it's the humans that are then building the company and the business. And especially if there's like an interesting story about how the founders have been finding the problem and came up with this opportunity and with this idea, those stories are always very special and interesting to hear.
I agree. And basically what we want to understand from you is, first of all, why you are the right team to address the problem, then why now is the time to work on this problem, and then how you can get it to the venture scale. So basically these are the 3 key points for us to understand from your presentation.
Maybe I can just sum up this. That definitely agree with all of the jury members, and I would say team determination, timing, and also passion for that.
Definitely. We have really been emphasizing what impact the team that is heading the startup has on taking it off the ground and actually building it towards success. But one other question that we could ask is, what is the importance of where the startup bases their location in terms of their launch? Is there anything that they might want to consider in terms of where they launch? On that?
Yeah, maybe I can start.
Yeah.
So from my perspective and sending greetings from the CE region, I think like the best market is like where you have the best connections, personal connections, and the market where you know like how everything works and so on. So definitely just the market where you're familiar with and where is the need for your solution for the problem.
Yeah, I agree to that. And then, of course, the simple answer would be to start wherever your customers are, right? So if you're solving a big problem, don't stay on the ground locally, but focus on the rest of the world to solve global problems. So wherever the customers are.
Definitely. Yeah, so sometimes we actually forget to focus on our larger scale customers, and we might only think about, okay, I have this one group of customers here, but that can really block you from achieving success in the future. So as both our jury members have mentioned, it's really great to see where all your customers are and then go forward with that. And then one last question, and I really hope that everyone on the jury is able to answer this or give their comments. What do you think is 5G infrastructure going to do for startups coming in terms of the evolution and what we might expect will develop in the future years? I think Juha, you can take this question.
I can start by not really answering your question. It's a very good question, and what's a little bit surprising, I would say, is that at least we don't yet see, if I look at our deal flow, we don't see those companies, at least not coming to us in great volumes. And that's a little bit maybe weird, or at least interesting, that if the opportunity, which I guess Finland, especially other Finnish companies and startups should be like geared to and should be able to capture. We have not yet seen that materializing in our deal flow. Maybe it's very much our, let's say, inability to attract those teams, but I don't know about the others if you start to see those teams.
No, Juha, so I would agree with you. I think it's a very similar situation with us, so I don't think we see enough in the deal flow, and definitely would love to see more. So if there's anyone working on something exciting in this space, please get in touch with us or with Juha.
Definitely. Okay, are there any other remarks on that? And then maybe I could actually ask one question going off of that last question. Do you think that there are any gaps within the market now that a lot of startups are not exploring? And from your perspective, what might those be?
Yeah, I hope I heard your question at least a bit, and I hope my connection is good enough to answer this one. But I think there's a tremendous opportunity of so many businesses and very successful huge startups and growth companies being built. And maybe from my perspective, what I notice as also following the diversity inclusion landscape is that there's actually a lot of problems to be solved within the space with people with that kind of background who haven't been that much in the startup scene yet. Also femtech, like women's health and many other industries, like those are now growing and booming, but there's so many problems still to be solved. So a lot of potential, and hoping to see more diverse startup founders in the future as well, a lot more.
Definitely.
Yeah, also I would like to, if there is a space, okay. I agree with Katja, and I think there is a huge diversity gap. First of all, that we have a lack of female founders, and is of course connected with lack of female investors, which we have either in CE region, Nordics, or Western Europe. So I think this is something which we have to really work on right now.
Okay, and we have time just for one more comment.
Yeah, I agree with both Katja and Vladimira and what was said previously. I also think that there are a lot of opportunities in this circular space or circular economy. So we are clearly hitting a massive crisis, or about to approach a big crisis. So definitely a lot of opportunities there related to circular, food, health, etc.
Definitely. Okay, and now we're just closing in on this panel discussion, and I want to say thank you to the jury for their answers and really going in depth into going in depth with the answers that they gave towards the questions that have been proposed. And then I just want to remind everyone to vote for the last batch that we had presenting, and we will be going into the next batch now, and welcome the next team on stage, Argonomi.
Thank you, Margaret. Good afternoon. We are Argonomi, a microalgae cultivation business. My name is Roy Nyberg. I'm the CEO and co-founder of the business. And what I want to try to impress upon you with this presentation is the sort of the critical solution that microalgae can be for our environmental problems as well as customer needs. So this is what we do. We produce biomass from microalgae, different strains, and extracts, which are fatty acids, vitamins, and proteins. For example, we sell them as high-value ingredients to our clients in different industries, while also we capture and reuse CO2 in that process. So the production process that we have is described here. We take this, what's drawn here in red, bioreactor next to a factory where we take the CO2, we produce biomass. With chemical extraction methods, we extract these fatty acids and vitamins and so forth. And at first, we start with cosmetics industry and food industry as our clients, both very big industries and lots of customer needs for changing their ingredients into more sustainable ones. One of the wonderful things about us is that while we are a deep tech company, we're also an impact startup. And here there are 7 sustainable development goals that we contribute to. At the top, we contribute to making the food system more sustainable, providing more sustainably produced healthy ingredients. The bottom, reducing the CO2 emissions, as well as supporting biodiversity. But all of that comes together more in the middle here, SDG number 12 of responsible consumption and production, which we translate to be as consumption without consuming the earth. Now we're in the early stage, pre-financed, but we still already have some traction, some sales in cosmetics industry, customer ongoing discussions with potential clients in also a food and beverage industry. We have international clients and pilot production agreed. We have some competitors, but we're distinct particularly with the capture of CO2 and high-value ingredients that we focus on as opposed to the bulk. This is our vision. We are going to spread our bioreactors all across Europe next to factories taking CO2 and bringing close to the clients. And finally, our team is 6-person founding team, 4 algae biologists, and 1 specialized in virology and GMO techniques, and myself specialized in management and commercial development. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Roy. And now we have some rounds of questions from the jury.
So, Roy, could you tell us a little bit more about the competition? I mean, the space is not new, right? So there are a lot of competitors already.
Yeah, that's correct. So algae is something that has been investigated in university research in lots of countries, in lots of universities. There are spin-offs from those, and so there are different kinds of companies. Many are producing bulk products like aqua feed and so forth. But as I was showing a little bit quickly there earlier on, lots of them are working with very narrow range of strains, and therefore they produce very narrow range of products, while we actually are aiming, our strategy is to use lots of different kinds of strains to really mine the different beneficial properties from algae. Also, small capex at the beginning for us, while lots of these competitors start with very large upfront investments.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Roy. A good presentation. Am I right if I say that it sounds that algae has been around and the potential has been discussed many years, but something has been holding back it. So what's the hard part? Why we haven't seen kind of a major breakthrough in food or feed?
I think that's a correct analysis. So there are lots of these companies, and for example, from 2005 to 2015, there was a lot of work on the biofuels, which didn't really succeed at all. I think one of the problems is what we want to be better at is the commercialization of it. Then some companies are trying to create their own consumer products, and while we are business-to-business company. So the other thing is that if you put a lot of money into marketing, you try to develop your own products and sell them to consumers, you're facing a lot of competition. So business-to-business approach we think is better, and I think that has a lot of more potential to focus on what you are good at, which is the sort of the cultivation of it, the analysis of it, and so forth, and then work with partners. So the other thing is also, maybe third, is that some of these companies have worked on bulk products like aqua feed or different animal feeds. and it's very low value business, low margin business. So that's another problem that these previous businesses have faced, but which we of course will try to avoid.
Okay. Thank you, Juri, for these questions, and thank you, Roy, for answering them. Your presentation was really great, and now we can look forward to Fieldbee and keeping us very physical. So welcome on stage, Fieldbee. Roy, you can come with me.
Hello everybody, I'm Jonas, one of the co-founders at Fieldbee. Fieldbee is a platform for wellness coaches providing tools and services for online coaching and professional development. Fieldbee got started past fall as we recognized that approximately 80% of coaches are still mainly offline and their services are extremely hard to find. So we conducted a survey and recognized that 90% of coaches would actually love to offer digital services. However, the main problem was they don't have the right kind of tools to really operate their business this way. And this is the reality in a market that is growing 33% year over year and expected to reach 60 billion by 2027. Our solution at Fieldbee is an all-in-one solution that is easy to use and basically provides virtual, hybrid, and live functions for the coach and a low threshold of entry to these sides of the market. And for the end customers looking for good coaching, whether it's online or live in their area, Fieldbee will provide a good solution for them as well in the future. Our business model is quite simple. Coaches are pricing the product and we take a share on each transaction. As we move along and launch our marketplace, we will also increase our share of the revenue on the platform as we're doing some user acquisition for the coaches as well. In the third stage, we're also adding some features that are really supporting our coaches' business. So, where are we now? We have launched our beta product with a variety of functions in the digital coaching space. And we have key coaches on the platform with paying customers, and basically customers have loved the platform, and so have the coaches. And next steps, basically, we're looking to onboard more coaches and broadening our storefront function from digital to also live experiences for coaches. We have a small and agile team, and we're really capable of execution, and we're looking forward to taking this ship to the next level. At this point, we're looking for funding, so happy to talk with any investors. And yeah, we're Fieldbee, and we help coaches do what they do best, coach. Thank you.